On to Europe now. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy visited the front line in Kharkiv on Monday as Germany hit out at Vladimir Putin's warning of a Cold War-style missile crisis. My colleague Trent Murray is in Berlin. He gives us more on this, also gives us more on other stories making headlines around the world. Trent, so Germany hitting out at Putin's missile crisis threat here?
Yeah, that's right, Tan. The authorities here in Berlin have said that they will not be intimidated by Russian President Vladimir Putin's warning of a Cold War-style missile crisis. Now, Vladimir Putin on Sunday warned that if Washington deployed long-range missiles in Germany, then Russia would station similar missiles within striking distance of the West. Earlier, the United States said that they would start deploying long-range missiles here in Germany from 2026 in preparation for a longer-term deployment that will include Tomahawk cruise missiles and developmental hypersonic weapons. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy visited the northeastern Kharkiv region close to the Russian border, where Moscow's forces have been trying to break through. Although Russia's attacks in the eastern Donetsk region remain the main thrust of their offensive, the assault into the Kharkiv region has outstretched Ukraine's outmanned defenders and forced Kyiv to send in reinforcements. Kyiv is now pressing its allies to lift restrictions, preventing it from using Western weapons for strikes deep inside of Russia on targets such as military airfields. Well, for more, let's go live to Ukraine, where our correspondent Megumi Lim is for us this evening. Megumi, can we talk firstly about this town of Vovchansk? We know that it was the scene of some very heavy street battles back in May when Russia was trying to launch its offensive. What's the situation there now?
Oh yes, first of all, that's right. As you mentioned earlier, President Zelenskyy is visiting near the city of Vovchansk today. Today is the day of Special Operations Forces here, which is why he handed out awards to members of Ukraine's Special Operations Forces. But in terms of fighting that's continuing in and around the city of Vovchansk, there are still street battles and fighting taking place. This is where Russian troops poured in May of this year when they mounted a major ground offensive to try to press forward towards the city of Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city. And Ukrainian troops were indeed overstretched. They had to send in their best soldiers to defend the city of Vovchansk. Thousands of civilians also had to evacuate. Now, the intensity of the battles have subsided, but Russian troops are still trying to capture Vovchansk. Currently, Ukrainian troops control still about 70% of Vovchansk, and the reason why they were able to fend off Russian advances at a time, if remember, US and German officials, US and Germany made the decision to partially lift restrictions to allow Kyiv to use some of their US and German supplied weapons to strike at military targets inside Russia, just across the border from the Kharkiv region. And President Zelenskyy has attributed Ukrainian troops being able to fend off Russian advances to this policy change. But today, Zelenskyy did receive an updated report on what's happening, and he did describe the battlefield situation as one of the most difficult on the front lines. And he is indeed urging Western officials, especially the United States, to lift all restrictions on the use of US-supplied long-range weapons to strike at targets deeper inside Russia.
And we, of course, know another difficult area for both sides is that contested Donetsk region. What's the latest on the situation there, Megumi?
That's right. Currently, this is the hottest sector on the front, the Donetsk region, especially in the Pokrovsk direction. Russia's defense ministry today said that Russian troops have taken one more village, the village of Vovcha. This is about 30 kilometers east of Pokrovsk, and Russian troops are making steady advances towards the city of Pokrovsk. This is a very important logistics hub for the Ukrainian military. That is why Russian forces are trying to capture this city, and this capture of Vovcha comes just after, over the weekend, Russian troops took two villages, the villages of Prorez and near Nivka. These two villages were captured, and if we look at deep state maps, this is an open sourced map online, we have been able to see really steady gains by Russian forces, especially over the past few days. And President Zelenskyy has described the situation there as extremely difficult. Russian forces like expending a lot of their resources on this sector of the front lines, albeit at a very, very high cost. And if Russian troops manage to capture Pokrovsk, it would truly put Ukrainian troops at a very, very vulnerable position.
Megumi Lim reporting for us live in Kyiv.